Hi, today we're going to talk about the 7 rules of small business that are meant to be broken. A lot of these rules, really worked well 15, 20, 30 years ago, and they're just not that effective anymore. And I think, especially with the internet, there's better things, better ways to spend your time, better options. So I'm going to go through 7 of the small business rules that are meant to be broken. So let's get started. Number 1, this idea that you need a business plan. Before the internet, you did need a business plan to start a business because you needed a product, you needed a service. You couldn't start something online, right? It didn't exist yet. So you needed a product and a service, you needed business cards, flyers, you needed a way to advertise. Not that that's bad. However, I think it's much better with the internet. It's easier to be able to test an idea, test a market, test your product or service, because unless you have at least one person who's interested in what you're offering, then you really don't need a business plan and all of those other things. And one of the ways that I test different product ideas and services and markets is through Facebook ads. It's really easy to do, and you can spend as little as $50 to $100 and have a pretty good idea on whether this business idea is going to get traction. Of course, there's no guarantees, but it's a lot better to do that than spend weeks or months setting up a business plan only to find out nobody's interested in your idea. Number 2. You love it, so do it. I'm not saying that you should start a business that you absolutely hate, but it really comes back to testing. You may love board games, but opening a board game shop in a small town downtown may not be your best idea, because most likely people can get those things on Amazon for even less expensive unless you really niche down. So you don't want to hate what you do every day. You want to find something that you really like, that you love, but test it, right? Make sure there's a market for it. If you don't know of anyone else who has one of these businesses that it's successful and you say, man, I could be the first, chances are there's not a big enough market for it. So I would really encourage you to be careful. Starting a business just because you love it doesn't mean everybody else will, so test. Number 3, family and friends think it's a great idea. That is not the best way to test a new business idea. Nothing against your friends and family, but they're going to be usually in one of 2 camps. Number 1, they don't want to hurt your feelings, your family, or you're a great friend. So they're going to tell you it's a great idea, whether they believe it or not. And the reality is, unless they're in that specific industry and they know a lot about it, it's not really a good gauge. The best way to gauge it is to test it and have people vote with their credit cards. Friends and family, they either don't want to hurt your feelings, so they're going to tell you it's the best idea ever, or they don't want to see you get hurt or fail, so they're going to tell you that, boy, that's a bad idea, that'll never work. So once again, don't depend on friends and family as your gauge on whether this is really a good business idea. Number 4, never work for free. There's a little bit of truth to that, but I can tell you, especially in the online world and the marketing space, you really have to prove yourself. And one of the best ways to do that is sample your product. You see that all over. You used to see that a lot in malls where people would have samples. But the reason samples work so well, it allows somebody to try your product or service and make sure that it lives up to their standards, that they're going to like it. So a little bit of work for free is not a bad idea. It's a great way to show somebody exactly what you can do or what your product can do and allow them to test it for a period of time. And then if they really like it, you could have a customer for life. So I really believe the old saying of never work for free doesn't really hold water anymore. Number 5, this used to be really true because you needed a lot of money to start a business, and that is you're too young to start a business. I truly believe you're never too young, you're never too old. but especially on the too young piece. The reason it was so true years ago is because you needed to develop a product, or you needed to buy the equipment to run some type of service. This is before the internet. So it did take a lot of money because you had to usually have that business plan and cards and flyers. And I came up through that old school way. And there wasn't really a way to test it without some skin in the game, right? Times have changed a little bit. You're not too young. There's entrepreneurs that are making millions and millions of dollars that are under 10 years old. So there really is no age anymore that's too young. But understand that it's going to take hard work. No matter how old you are, you have to learn the skills, you have to develop those skills, and you have to get experience and practice those skills. And then the market will pay you for that business, that product, that service, those skills once they're developed. And nowadays they can really be developed at about any age. No degree, no chance. A degree doesn't mean as much as it used to. In fact, there are so many people, it's funny how the tides are changing, that so many people feel like, boy, you don't really need a degree at all. And, that really isn't a sign of success or failure for entrepreneurs, of whether you have a bachelor's or an associate's or a master's degree. Once again, it comes down to, being able to be good at, learn the skills, develop those skills, get experience with them, and put them into the marketplace. And that piece of paper means a whole lot less than it used to. So, if you have this great idea, but you say, boy, I want to wait till I go to college first. I did go get a degree in sales and marketing, and it was a good move for me. I went into the corporate world with a Fortune 100 company and learned a lot. However, you absolutely don't need a degree to be successful as an entrepreneur. Number 7 came from the movie Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. This has never been further from the truth when it comes to business. Just because you love it, just because you built it, doesn't mean that people are going to be pounding down your door to get your product or service. I've mentioned this over and over, but I'm a huge believer, and I have many successful businesses because of testing a marketplace, testing a geographical area, testing a service or a product. And I've done really well using Facebook ads to do that. So don't just build a business because you like it. Test it out first. A lot of these 7 that we just talk about, these rules that are meant to be broken, you couldn't break them before the internet. There was the barrier to entry. You had to have certain things. You couldn't just test a service that you didn't have. You couldn't test a product. With affiliate marketing and with so many different avenues online today, you can really test things quite easily. And even for brick and mortar businesses, and so many miss that, but you're able to test a new service or test a new product or restaurant appetizer within your market, within a 3 to 5 mile radius of the people that come in, demographics, geographics, of the people that are coming into your current business establishment. So just because you love it doesn't mean it's going to work, but I will tell you, through testing, learn Facebook ads, learn marketing. It can definitely change the game for you. I hope you liked this video. If so, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up or hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you soon. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day.